Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 1 of B Session 2018 in STKIP PGRI Sumatera Barat for the subject Curriculum and Material Development. Well, in this opportunity, we would like to explain the central design material. But before come to the explanation, I would like to introduce our group members. The first one, me myself, Cynthia Duitami as the moderator. And then the first speaker is Sylvie Hendriani, Ferlian Zahara as the second speaker, and then the third speaker is Fuji Okta Indriani, and the fourth speaker, the last speaker, Peggy Hairani. Okay, now we come to the first speaker, to Sylvie Hendriani. Time is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Sylvie Hendriani. For the next material is about central design. Okay. The second curriculum development models Richard 2013 is the central design. In the central design, curriculum development starts from selecting teaching and learning activities, technique and method rather than developing a syllabus or expected learning outcomes. Central design begins with deciding on the teaching approach first, followed by the content and assessment. In this approach, it is the method of the teaching that is the most important. There is the assumption among teachers who use this approach that the method of teaching along with the supporting activities will lead to the successful learning outcomes or demonstration of mastery. Central design is highly fixed on the learning process. For example, there is an emphasis on discussion, decision-making, critical thinking, and others. All of these examples are somewhat fuzzy is being able to assess them. We can tell when they happen, but it's not easy to place a score on them because there are subjective skills. Okay, for many, this design is seen as a learning center due to this emphasis on active learning. Discussion requires active learning as to do critical thinking and the other example in the previous paragraph. This experience contributes to the individual development of the students. Furthermore, Leung in Richard 2013 explained that central design is understood as a curriculum development that focuses on students' learning process. The emphasis of this approach, according to Leung, is that the process of planning, determining, and assessing learning outcomes is interrelated and dynamic, not sequential. They can go back and forth and influence one another. Furthermore, Grave in Richard 2013 states that in curriculum rules, what happens in the classroom is or becomes the core curriculum. Grave stated that what happens in the class is the relationship between teachers, students, and teaching subject.
Hello everyone, my name is Ferlian Zahara. In this section, I will explain the material is main features of central design. Number 1, prioritizing teaching methods and procedures rather than syllabus development. Number 2, more emphasis on the learning process than the initial learning objective. Number 3, put more emphasis on the methods and rules for implementing the teaching and learning process. Next, learning is student-centered and provides a learning experience that allows the child to try on his own in the learning process. Next, make students more active in shaping their own learning style. Then, helping students in developing their own personality. Next, view the learning process as an activity to complete learning, and show that each learning approach has its own character or characteristic in accordance with the learning condition. And the last but not least, require the teacher as a class curriculum creator. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fuji Okta Indriani, and I will explain about central design in language teaching. Language teaching in the first part of the 20th century was shaped by teaching methods which reflected forward planning methods. Methods such as the audiolingual methods, situational language teaching, and early versions of communicative language teaching had firm foundation is well-developed syllabus, either grammatically based or with a more communicative framework is with CLT. But alternative base for methods emerged in the second half of the 20th century with the emergence of a number of instructional designs that rejected the need for predetermined syllabus or learning outcomes and were built instead around specification and classroom activities.
I'm Fegiarani Wahyudi. I will explain implementing a central design curriculum. Each of the innovations refer to above offers different versions of the idea of a classroom as a focus on the learner or as the learning community, a notion which has been theorized in greater detail and depth by Wenger, 1999, Van Leer, 2004 and 2006, and others. From this perspective, learning takes place in a context and evolves through the interactions and participations the participant in the context. Learning is not as the mastery of predetermined content but as constructing new knowledge through participants in specific learning and social context and through engaging in particular types of activities and process. Thank you.
Okay, that's all our explanation about central design, and we really hope that every viewers of this video can have a good understanding about central design. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.